Welcome to the Evolv podcast. Today I'm actually connected.
He's connected. It's the microphone's
Oh,
dead.
wait. We haven't done it yet.
What?
Ready?
No, we can't because I've used the thing. To
Oh,
plug it in.
shit. Okay, well, we're not live. We're not on air today.
We're not.
Unfortunately, we cannot be on air because I forgot to charge the microphone.
We forgot to charge the microphone. We both did. It's a
That's
joint,
one thing
it's a
about
joint
us.
thing.
We tend to always blame ourselves for our misdoings. No matter what happens in life, I feel like if you always blamed yourself for anything that happens in your life, but whether it's positive or negative, you're always going to be alright.
I think
if
you
you-
learn better from it.
Because if you continuously blame other people for anything that goes on in your life, then when does it come to a point where you're like, oh, this person did this person did that, this person did this? If the blame's ever on you, when are you going to ever think that you're ever in the wrong?
It's like accountability. It is accountability for yourself. Like being fully well aware of the fact that you've done something wrong.
No matter
Makes you
what
go-
happens in my life, always my fault. Even if it's good, even if it's bad, no matter what
Even
it
if
is.
someone popped your tyre, it's your fault.
Yes.
So
Stupid.
if someone reversed into your car, it's your fault.
Yep.
Even though you were parked,
Yes.
it's still your fault.
Still my fault.
I saw it then in your car.
My fault.
Why? What happened?
So I was it was Christmas Day, Christmas
Mm.
Eve. My dad's house doesn't really have parking in front of his house, whatever.
Mm.
And so there's a caravan parked, and that's the only thing that takes up the whole fucking car spot. You can fit probably 3 cars there, but
Yeah.
because
Is
of
it his caravan?
It's his caravan,
Yeah.
yeah. So to park next to his house, I have to park on the footpath, but next to the caravan, so then people can still walk on the footpath. So I was
Mm.
on the grass but on the caravan side. Anyways, as I was leaving, I was reversing out, but then I turned the wheel too quick. So I hit the corner of the caravan. Luckily, the caravan had a cover, so it didn't scratch any paint or anything like
But
that,
it's just dented.
but it dented. So instead of stopping once I heard the dent,
Kept going.
I was just like, fuck. Still just pushed it the whole way through.
Just
And then
sent it.
now I've got a massive dent. And then my dad was like, no, what happened? I was like, oh, I'm just going to put hot water on it and get a
Oh.
plunger and yank the fucking
Like,
thing out.
yeah, right. Like you saw on TikTok.
Then my dad was like, good car or bad car?
Well,
And
still
I-
did the job.
Like, is it a
Still
good
driving.
car or is it a bad car? Like, what do you think? Do you think
Mm.
you're going to, if you go to a good place and spend a little bit more money, you're going to get a professional job done? Then when you go sell the car, you would rather sell good condition, good job done.
At least in
Whereas if I did it with a fucking plunger, I would have probably fucked the paint and broken the car, and then people would be like, "Oh, where's that from?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I tried to plunge something because I dented the car.
BDS repairs.
Yeah, BS repairs. If you want repairs from me, $50 a pop, no matter how big or small.
He'll bring,
But
hot water and a plunger. That's it. He'll charge
dent
you
removal. Dent removal.
$250 per dent.
No, I said 50.
Oh, sorry, 50.
Keep me at 50,
Sorry.
yeah.
Can't overprice.
But I need access to hot water. So if you have a kettle, that's your chewing. That's all I need. Just a kettle.
Otherwise, there's extra charge for the hot water.
Yeah, if I've got no kettle, 250. Yeah, so that's how it is.
I went to the gym the other day, and thank you.
Whoa, just so we can tell the audience, the other day, it's a week. We're in the week right now between Christmas and New Year's Eve, which is the laziest period of the year for everyone around the world. So everyone's like, oh, I just had Christmas. Oh, I'm stuffed, man.
Just relax.
Just relax. New Year's is coming up.
Mm.
Most people around the world have days off.
Yeah, They
Have the
switch
whole
off.
week off.
yeah.
Whole 2 weeks off. Actually, most
A
people.
lot of my clients have the next 2 weeks off. And
Yeah,
they're starting in the
exactly.
new year.
Then
It's
they
all
start
a
the
New
new year.
Year's
Yeah.
resolution.
New year, new me,
New
right?
year,
So,
new me.
he went to the gym the other day.
Yes. So I went to the
Insane.
gym the other day, and I've been going to the gym now for, I'll say 4 or 5 years. And for the first time, I kind of took a step back and I went, I could never have ever walked into this gym 5 years ago.
Which one?
Anytime Fitness.
Baxi.
Mm. And it
I
made
can
me
understand that.
It
I can
ma-
understand
It
that.
made me think. I've gone, what did I do from the period I started to now to get me sort of more confident with the gym. I thought, okay, I can make a list, or I can just like backtrack each year and see what I did. So I went back through all my photos, all my old photos. Yeah, there we go. Went back through all my old photos. I saw like this little chubby version of me just in the mirror, like all like this, and I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, big balloon guy. And then just every year after that, I just kept getting more confident because I started seeing more and more results, and I started going with friends. And I feel like confidence is the first big thing that you need to overcome when going into the gym.
Yes.
What was the one thing that you did?
100%.
What was the one
100%.
thing that you did in the beginning of your fitness journey that made you more confident moving forward with going to the gym or just training in general?
Training in general. Okay, for me, the thing that pushed me into even starting was Ziz. Or otherwise known as Aziz Subversion. Alright, so I've only got one tattoo. This one. It's called Veni Vidi Vici. Now, the there's more symbolism behind that tattoo rather than what most people think it actually is. So to most people, that is a tattoo that this guy, this ex-bodybuilder, Sydney bodybuilder used to have on his chest. So it's in the exact same position, whatever. But my reasoning for getting that tattoo was he was a guy that initiated my first introduction into the gym. So I was 15. I was watching this guy on YouTube, and he was basically saying shit like, oh, to get girls, you have to go into the gym and get jacked and get ripped, whatever. I thought I was cool. So I joined in the gym, but I started going to my school gym. So I'd be waking up at 5 in the morning, getting the bus all the way to school, training with the PE teachers. I thought I was a mad cunt, right? But and my whole reasoning for training was because I thought I'd get girls and get jacked and lean, whatever. That was my whole intro phase. So I guess the confidence was around that why sort of thing. But that very quickly went away. Very quickly.
What did you learn from that?
I learned a big lesson because that was more around motivation rather than discipline. Because I could never be driven enough to do it for someone else, if that makes sense. Because my whole reasoning was to get girls. And I feel like that wasn't enough of a reason to keep me going for years and years and years.
What was that deciding factor that made you flip?
The switch was when I went to the gym one day and there was this massive dude that saw me doing leg press. And he looked at me and he was like, I reckon you can do a lot more. And then he put all these plates on and it was like triple the amount of weight that I was already doing. And it freaked me out. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And he was like, no, you can do it. And he was getting full in my face. And then I did 10 reps of it. And I was like, shit, I'm actually stronger than I thought. Whatever. And then I was more driven about, let me see how far I can push my body, how strong I can get. And then it was about performance and just like improving myself. And there was that no longer that I guess drive to do it for someone else. It was more for myself in that sense.
Did you ever notice like you went through periods when you went to the gym? Like, let me explain. When I first started the gym, it was very like just sussing out the machines, getting used to my bearings, blah blah blah. And then it was like, okay, let's go with the boys. We'll go with the mates. Got to the gym, and then I feel like when I went with a big group of boys, it was all ego lifting. Like there was an ego lifting phase where you'd go with the boys, and it's be like, oh bro, you're gonna hit 100 today? Oh, surely you hit 100 today. And then you go back and forth. I feel like there was that ego lifting period. And then it would have just been, I feel like I had like some sort of injury that happened, some sort of bicep or back or something. I think it was my shoulder. My shoulder was like...
You've always had problems with your shoulders. Yeah.
My left shoulder has always been that. But I feel like when I hit that brick wall, which was the injury, and slowly went back into the routine of going to the gym again, I realized how silly it was to ego lift.
Yeah.
With no foundation beforehand. So then I learned from that. And then I went, okay, if I ego lift, there's going to be injury prone.
There's going to be these consequences.
Unless I put the right foundations in. So then I started getting into sort of higher rep ranges, lower weight, sort of rebuilding the muscle, focusing on that, building. And then I was able to hit the weight that I was doing when I was ego lifting a lot more fluent because I'd done the foundation work. And now I feel like the phase is just for my mental state. Now it's like, I want to feel good, I want to look good, I want to be good. So I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to be as consistent as possible, make sure that my food's in shape,
It's
blah,
more
blah,
about
blah.
the routine.
Now
all
it's
that kind of stuff.
routine.
Yeah.
I feel like there was definitely phases throughout the like you go through life and you go through different phases, like your teenage phase and your kid phase.
Oh,
and
100%. Like I initially started just to get ripped and jacked. Then I went to the extreme of bodybuilding. And I was actually properly bodybuilding, following programs, tracking my calories, doing all the things involved with like a bodybuilding program, whatever. I was only young. I was only like 17, 18. I did put on a lot of mass during that period of time. Like I did get pretty big, whatever. But then after that, I started playing soccer and I realized I wasn't actually as movable in soccer.
Mobile.
As mobile, like I wasn't as quick. I wasn't moving as well. Then I was like, shit, how do I, because I love football. How do I play football but also do gym because I liked both of those sports? Then I realized I had to change something about both of them so then I wouldn't get as many injuries as I was getting at that time.
Was that where you fell into mobility?
Yeah. Because I was getting all these injuries and I was like, nah, fuck these injuries. I want to be able to play football but also go to the gym whenever I want as well.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, nah, I've got to make a change. And that change was changing up the training I was doing because I was going too hard with strength training, lifting too much heavy weights and that low rest.
Putting a lot of load on your joints.
Yeah. And then probably overloading in soccer by doing too much. But then I needed to find some sort of balance so that I could have a good balance and be able to do all right in both. Not perfect in either, but you know, be able to enjoy both in a way.
What did you find was the perfect like routine for your weight training and soccer training? What were you doing each week, for instance? Like give the audience a run over of what your week was to make sure that you balanced weight training and football.
On a general week, when I was playing a lot, I was probably doing two training sessions a week. On those training sessions, run for at least 2 hours, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Not continuously running, but like, you know,
Short, sharp sprints.
45 minutes of it would probably be a game. The rest of it would probably be like short, sharp sprints, agility, like all the stuff involved in a football match, whatever. Just like breaking it down into drills and whatnot. So I did that twice a week. Had the football games on the weekend, so I probably did 2, 4, 5 hours of football a week, 5 to 6 hours of football a week. Did that. Then with the gym, I was probably training 6 times a week as well.
Were you basing your training around football, or was your training
Nah,
just
they were
general?
completely different.
Okay.
Completely different.
Why?
The gym was all about push, pull, legs, bodybuilding, trying to build as much mass as possible, whereas football was all about, you know, getting better at soccer, but only that sport. It's like they didn't relate at all. They were actually moving away from each other.
Did you ever think about combining the two training?
No, I never did.
So you never did. So you just did bodybuilding and soccer.
Yeah. That's what I was doing. And I was getting injuries. I was getting all those injuries left, right, and center. And I was like, wait, what's happening? And then my performance in football went down because I was a lot more rigid and like not movable. My uncle said I looked like a semi-trailer on the field because I'd get the ball and I'd be like, you know what I mean?
Top heavy.
Top heavy.
Yeah.
And then in the gym, I was getting, because of the injuries I was getting in soccer, I wasn't able to do some specific days as well anymore. Like my squat days, for example, my leg days, I was not performing as well because I was so fatigued from soccer.
Or you'd have a game on Saturday, you couldn't
exactly
train legs on Friday and
they
play
were
a game.
impacting each other too much. And then when I went down the road of being like, how do I find the balance between the two? That's when I started doing more mobility and body weight stuff.
But did you drop off soccer after that realization?
Not really. I've always played.
In the sense of where you were football-wise before, are you there now?
Yeah, I still played MPL2 last year. Oh, I didn't play this year. Yeah. So I've probably, since I was 4, I've missed 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But, what's it called? But my whole life I've kind of played winter and then I've also played summer. So this last few years, I think I missed a couple summer comps, but I've always still played the winters. So I missed 2017. No, 2018.
We played
winter.
we've played the last two summer seasons.
Oh, whoops! Yeah, you're right.
We've played the last 2 summer seasons, but
Oh, there we go. So
this year we didn't play soccer, and last year you didn't play soccer.
no, last year I played winter.
2022.
Yeah.
I think I did as well.
Did you?
I think I did as well.
Tripping me out, eh?
Oh, far out.
I
But
played for Oatley.
that's right. I always remember though, the back end of the year was hard because silly season was always coming up and we tried to play our games at the back end of the week.
Oh, yes.
Tired as hell. Oh, it was just.
That was Mondays, remember?
What are your thoughts on silly season? What's your overall look on like the back end of the year? Because I feel like I've noticed it a lot more recently that a lot of people start dropping off, and I'll explain what I mean by a lot of people dropping off. Now, this is the first year that I've actually properly worked through the silly season and not really been as silly in the season.
Well, this is a 1 week of the year no one works. And
Yeah.
we're doing a podcast one year.
And
I wouldn't really say podcast is work because we're just talking about
sitting and chatting. But I noticed, like, even just driving around, I'm like, oh, it's so peaceful.
no one's on the roads.
one's on
Oh,
the
it's the
roads.
best day because I went to all my sessions today and it was on time. It was like, even my clients were like, "Whoa, you're on time today."
Because you got to put into consideration all the traffic and stuff going between clients.
yeah,
And
of
I always
course.
give myself like a 40.
You know what? Sydney traffic sucks.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. Sydney traffic's the worst.
Mm.
But I put into realization that like during this Christmas period, like how many people actually switch off and how
So they should. I feel like you should have some type of break, but knowing that everyone, every Tom, Dick, and Harry decides that I'm gonna take this. Oh, you know, it's kind of forced upon a lot of people. They're forced holidays for a lot of people. Like the workplaces actually force their employees to kind of take these 2 weeks off because everyone kind of takes a break.
Yeah,
around this time.
everyone turns off all around the world.
Yeah,
everyone turns
exactly.
off.
So for that reason, as a business owner, I'd rather not take holidays off now, just because we can essentially take holidays whenever we want, in a sense.
True.
You know what I mean? So why would you go when everyone is doing it, when you can just go when no one's doing it and have more of a time where you can kind of do whatever you want without having all these people impact your time?
Do you feel the
Anyway.
gym is busier at this time of year? Because everyone is switching off and not going to work?
Yeah, but because of the fact before, I don't know.
What time were
It's-
you
it's
going
hard
to the gym? Like mid-morning,
Always
afternoon?
Always sporadic.
Because
Like
I always went in the morning, like early.
Well, what have you noticed?
Well, going to the gym early, I've noticed one thing: people sleep in, so they're used to that. So if you want to go to the gym super early, every single machine under the sun, go early at this time of year. But the flood of people that came in at like 7, 8 o'clock as I'm leaving the gym, I'm like, holy crap.
Oh, yeah,
I've
because
gone
they
into
don't have work anymore, so
yeah.
they can go a bit later.
I've gone
So
into
before,
yeah.
it was like they were coming at 5 because they had to be able to get home, have a shower, and get to work.
And leave by 7
Whereas
o'clock.
now it's like they don't have anything to do. They're used to mornings though, like they're morning people probably, but they're like, I can sleep and I don't have to do this 5 a.m. anymore. I can do 7 or 8 or 9.
And the one thing that I noticed is that these were still the same people that I used to see early in the morning.
At 5, right?
At 5. So what do you think is the barrier for people during this time that they lose their consistency during this time? What do you think is that barrier that they have that stops them from keeping the consistency going during this period?
Well, for those people, right, like they had to wake up earlier because they had to get home, have a shower, and go to work. Whereas now they've stopped that work period, so they don't actually have to get home at a specific time. They can ease into their day a little bit more and start gym a bit later in the day. Because then, what are they going to do for the rest of the day?
Do you think it's better for people to start a routine in this quieter period of the year and try and make one for the new year? Like get them.
I
Get
feel
the
like
ball
if
rolling?
you want to start at 5 a.m., like start your training at 5 a.m., doing it now when there's not really too many demands, but then people going out till late at night. That's why the morning thing is pretty hard. But I would still say, like, if your goal is to do that, doing it when you're not busy is also a good thing as well.
Yeah, I'm not saying like go early in the morning. I'm saying like
The
now that-
routine of going.
correct.
Okay,
correct.
then yeah, 100%.
Because this would be probably the best period because you don't have anything on your shoulders. Well, to an extent, depending on what
You're more
career
relaxed.
You're more relaxed.
You're more relaxed.
But-
Most people are more relaxed now because you're not working as much as you normally do, especially between Christmas and New Year's. So this is a week perfectly set up for you to create new habits or start creating new habits. You know, it's a good 7 days?
Yeah.
No. Well, minus our Boxing Day and
Give or
New Year's
take.
Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas,
Yeah.
all the events
the
in
above.
between.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of shit that goes on in this week. So it's hard to tell people start something new now
Yeah.
because there's so much shit going on.
I'm
in
saying,
our lives.
yeah, if someone's ready though, I feel like this would be the best time to get an understanding of what a routine could be in the new
Yeah,
year.
start doing the prep work now.
Yeah.
Like, start putting down your goals, things that you want to achieve this year. But then, instead of just being those, these are my New Year's resolutions, start actually putting actionable steps in.
Yeah.
But like, I need to achieve this by this date. I need to do this by this date.
Oh, I'm stressing out. It's the end of the year, bro. Another
know.
year disappeared.
And I'm getting
2024.
more jacked.
What are your goals?
2015 me would be pretty proud, I reckon.
My client messaged me this morning. Dory messaged me, and he goes, "Hey, bro, let's kick it in the new year. Let's smash it. Let's hit our goals." And then he sent me a quote. I put it on my story today. It was quite interesting. His viewpoint on it, and it was like, do I have my phone? Oh, it's there.
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, it was on my story. It was like, get 2025 because you've already got 2024 in the bag, I think. Is it there?
Get it in 2025 because 2024 is already in the bag. What does that mean?
It was meant to say go get it. Go get it in 2025 because 2024 is already in the bag.
Oh,
But-
okay, yeah.
Autocorrect.
Kind of makes sense though.
But in that sense, what are your 2024 goals, Brendon? Because I feel like this is going to be a very big year for a lot of people.
It is. I've never been into any endurance sports. I love my football, but I'd say football is very anaerobic. Like it's like short
Sharp,
sprints.
sweet.
Short sprints. So a footballer, most positions, like I'm a centre mid, which probably runs the most in the game. But even as a centre mid, I'd say most of my game it's more 15-meter sprints, walking, light jogging, 15-meter sprints. Like it's more short bursts and more agility, more
More power.
acceleration, deceleration, stuff like that. There's not really you're running for 90 minutes non-stop at a certain pace. So running long distance has never been my forte. Cycling long distance has never been my forte, and swimming has never been my forte, even though I live in Australia, right? I'm a good swimmer, but like not a long distance swimmer. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Like I know how to float in water. Like put me in the middle of the ocean, I'd
You're
be
a good
alright.
swimmer, but you're not a good endurance swimmer.
Yeah, there you go. So that's my things. Those three things are pretty cardio based. I want to run a triathlon this year. So I'm setting myself a target. Now I've said it on the podcast. So me saying it to all those people,
Now you have to follow through with it.
it's going to become more of a reality. So I'm doing it. I'm going to do like a sprint, which is only 10K bike ride, I think, 5K run and a 750 meter swim, which I feel like is not too
It's good
far
entry.
out.
Good
It's
entry.
not too far out of my abilities, but
Just the training and the prep for it.
yeah, it's a
Because
training.
it's back to back to back.
That's the thing. And I've gone to the stage of running and swimming and just given up.
The plateau.
Plateau, yeah, fuck.
The plateaus are the worst, eh? Because
Just
they
'cause,
just
like-
switch you off.
And that's why I always preach that you should find a sport or activity that you enjoy because it's going to be a lot easier for you to stick to. I hate those three things, which is why I always fall off. I hate running. I hate cycling. I hate swimming. So that's why I always fall off. But I love the gym. I love football. So it's very easy for me to stick to those two sports and be able to do them all the time. You know what I mean?
Is that you just being comfortable?
Yes. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Do you think if you pushed yourself to do something you'd hate, you'd like it?
There's a possibility, but doing something you hate sometimes takes a lot of energy.
It does.
It requires a lot of mental energy to get yourself, like for the gym, right? I can actually wake up at 5 a.m. and be like pumped, like let's go, whatever. But then waking up at 5 a.m. to say to myself, you got to run, I feel like it takes a lot more of a mental output. Like I have to be more like, come on, I have to do it. Like I have to like really push myself to that next level to kind of want to do it.
But now you have to do it.
Yeah, like
'Cause you've
there's
got-
enough.
you just- you've
There's
said
enough of a why now. There's definitely enough.
There's more
of a
why.
Yeah.
There's more why. I feel like that's the important message there. Is that when you set yourself to a goal, like you want to do a triathlon, now you've said it out loud. Now you have to follow through with it. So now you kind
I've written about it in my journal too. So.
you have to force yourself to do it now.
Oh, 100%.
Which is the hardest part. That was like when I started this. When I started mobile personal training, I didn't like it, but I liked training people. I just didn't like the concept of being uncomfortable with someone new, which is something that I was used to, but not in this type of setting.
Because it's very
You're thinking on your
intimate.
toes a lot.
It's
It's
also very
intimate.
intimate,
You
yeah.
get to know them a lot on a deeper level. You're talking with them a lot. You're messaging them heaps. Hey, this, that.
You're building a little family. With your
Yeah,
clients,
I feel like that was something that I learnt to love, and you did as well. You said.
Yeah.
I feel like you said
I
that
could
in a
never do
couple
gym
podcasts
PT.
ago. Yeah, gym PT is very, very different, and who did I
I
have this
respect
chat
Jim
with?
that Briefit. We're gonna bring him on the podcast. 100%. He
he's
loves it and he's good at it.
Yeah,
He's 100% he's good at it. When I talk to him, I know that he knows his shit when it comes to gym training and knowing how to push yourself in the gym. He's actually a really good PT.
he's got a good balance.
Yeah.
Good balance with his gym life and his work life and family life and friend life.
Female life, yeah, I'm pretty shit at that at the moment, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah. But I want to know about your 2024 goals, because I think I put in somewhere that I want to talk about that.
My 2024 goals. I feel like this year I realized I have to work on myself more. So
Find
2024,
We said in the last podcast, he needs to find himself.
2024,
You're doing US.
2024 is for more. So more about me. I feel like focusing on me I want to get lean. I was thinking, I don't know why, but the other day boxing came into my head. I might
You can
do
practice on me if you want.
I might want to do a fight. I'm not sure. I feel like
You're hearing you just heard it here first, guys.
We'll see. It's
A
something
jiu-jitsu fight or an actual boxing fight?
like an actual boxing fight, like
wow.
Billy did. Billy from the Evolv boys.
Oh yes, yeah.
He did it. He did it like a full camp
Like
and
an
everything,
amateur.
like an amateur fight.
Amateur fight, yeah.
And I don't know. I saw it
Can you
and
do it against me?
yeah, why not? Fuck it.
We're in the same weight class.
True. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's
I've just
one
got
of
a
my
way
goals.
shorter arm with
The length.
after
the reach.
after try getting close. Like
You'll be short, sharp power. I'll be just like agility and hooks.
no, you have the reach on me. You just be able to put your hand on my head and be like.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've never really pushed my limits with a lot of things that I've said that I'm gonna do. So like I don't know. 2024 is just a
You
year
could enter a
to.
triathlon with me if you want.
I could, but it's not
Something
something
not
that's
as
crossed.
high on your pedestal.
Yeah, it's not something that's crossed my mind. Whereas like the past like year, maybe two, getting into boxing with clients and focusing on a whole bunch of like
Hooks, uppercuts.
uppercuts. I don't know. I feel like there's a level to me that I feel like I need to push in 2024. So I feel like boxing will give me that discipline that I have been searching for in regards to training, eating, work-life balance, family life balance, friend life balance. Who knows? Maybe female balance. Who knows? But
Reckon you'll find a female boxer in the camp.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that goals are very important because you have to learn to be honest with what you want
100%.
goal wise.
And those are just our fitness goals. There's going to be
Yeah.
we have many other goals. Probably not going to go into detail with all of them,
Yeah.
obviously. But
That's just my broad goal. But that's my
That's your fitness
broad,
goal.
that's my fitness goal. But
Yeah,
my overall goal, haven't thought too much. Even though freaking New Year's Eve's tomorrow. No
well,
New
that
Year's
goes to show there's
resolutions.
no such thing as New Year's resolutions. We're
Yeah.
coming up with goals all the time. Once we hit one, we go on to creating another one.
I think that's the beauty of it, eh? It's like
That's all we do. Like that triathlon, for example, there's going to be a date that I do one. Then what do I do? Oh, shit, now I've got to wait till the end of the year and come up with another goal. Oh, shit, I finished it in May. I've got another 6 months to go. So,
yeah.
once it hits May, you've done your goal, you
Yeah.
create a new one to move on to. Actually, you know what? I got asked a question on that date that I went on 2 nights ago, right? She asked me, and I wanted to ask you this as well. If you, if tomorrow was your last day, what would you do?
Spend it with my family. What was I meant to say?
No.
Oh, is that?
It's,
okay. It's just a
case
broad question.
dependent.
Okay,
Case
okay.
dependent.
I would spend it with my family.
But what would you do with your family? It's your last day on Earth, so you're gonna die after the day finishes. Clock strikes 12, you're dead.
I'd probably
it's
just
done.
just have a dinner with them, and just talk, and reflect, and
Have a cry.
have a cry, and say, "See ya, it's my last day."
I rate that.
I don't know what else I would do. I don't know. What would you do?
So my answer.
What did you say? Because mine was like deep and
That is
like
cute.
family
You know, I
orientated.
didn't actually think that at that level, right? So I'm on the date. She asked me this question, and I was full thrown. I was like, "Whoa, that's a fucking
It's
that's a fucking
curveball.
question, that
Yeah.
one." And I was like, "Okay, let me think. Okay, so my mind went straight to the fact I've got this fear of oceans. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That's where you jumped to.
That's where I jumped to. That's what my head went straight to.
The
Then I
concrete.
also realized I've never learned to, but always been curious about surfing.
So the last
the full trip out, right?
your last day on Earth,
so my
you go
last day
down
on
to
Earth.
Cronulla and you get a
No,
board.
very
Oh, okay,
different.
okay, okay.
So my last day on Earth would be finding a beach that I've never been to on the east or west coast of Australia. So still in my country,
Yeah.
not travelling out. Learn to surf, and then after surfing, swim out into the open ocean until the end of the day.
Until you die.
Either die from a shark or die because the day ended.
That's
Because but do two things. It will
So you-
overcome my fear
yeah.
of the ocean. It will tick off something that I've always had on my bucket list. I want to learn, want to do, and put me in a place that I'm at my happiest, which is in the beach.
I can't
That's
agree or disagree with it because it's just your answer to the
That's
question.
exactly. And then everyone that hears our question is going to have their own different answer to it, I feel.
What if you had 48 hours? What would you do?
Oh, shit.
I'd go to Italy with my family and have pasta.
I'll meet you there. Done. So I'd still do the beach thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'll have to do it on the last day because that's when I'll die.
So what would
right?
the first day be? I think you can
Shit.
add family to the list
Yeah.
if you want.
I want to collect all of my family in one section, have a festa, and I'll
Yeah.
host it.
A
I'll be
big
like that.
festa.
There's this Portuguese thing. We did it every single day in my Europe summer when I was in Portugal, and they called it festas, whatever, a festas, and it's like a festival, but it's like kids and adults and everyone in between. We're in just one big group, right? And you had games on the side where there was like big logs with nails in them, and everyone had a hammer, and you just went around in a circle. You hit it. You hit your peg or your nail
Yeah.
into the log, and then it goes around. First person to
Make it flat.
no, last person to put it in has to buy everyone a beer. If it was all adults, but if it wasn't all adults and it was kids, that person had to just get more of the pegs, get another round of the nails, whatever. That was one of the games. But then there was people walking around with these like wooden slabs with all these beers in it. It was like 10 beers, and they called it metros or a meter.
Yeah.
It stands for meter of beers. So if it was my last 48 hours, I would
I'd do
host
that.
one of those with all of my family members. I'm gonna collect them from Brazil, Venezuela, Spain,
And
get
then
them
go
all into one location.
and
Let
then
me
go
think.
for a surf the next day.
Where would I put them? Where would I take them to? Pro
Cronulla.
Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Pro
I was
Brazil.
gonna say Cronulla.
Because Brazil's known for beaches, right?
Don't know. Brazil's never crossed my mind. There's a possibility.
It might be. I know it's hot down there. Oh, actually, Portugal has the biggest waves in the world.
Really?
At this one place. This one beach thing is known for the biggest waves in the world or something.
I never knew that.
So I learned to surf on the biggest wave in the world. Why not? You know.
That question creates a lot of conversation.
It does.
And I feel like recently
you can
I've
stretch it. You can say, what would you do if it was your last week?
recently I've
Last
noticed
month.
that a lot of people are learning to ask more questions. So like people's communication is changing, the vocabulary is changing. I feel like obviously social media is a big part in it, but I feel like the evolution of communication, a lot more people are talking about their experiences, or they're talking about how they're feeling. They're being a lot more open. There's a lot more rights for free speech and talking
It's
about
because
this.
of the rise of femininity
You reckon?
or the feminist movement.
Why do you think it's because of the feminist movement?
All right, I don't want to go too much detail because it might spark a lot of controversy, right? So, what my belief is that for years, women didn't have equal rights, right? For years, like they weren't given the right to vote, they weren't allowed to get education,
They weren't allowed to go to war.
they weren't allowed to go to war. There was like all these things that they weren't allowed to do, and they were just said, "Oh, you're just staying at home, looking after the kids,
Yep.
whatever." So they were degraded for many years, and there was a movement created, the feminist movement, which was right at that time. It was really good to have that movement because it was to kind of give them the rights that they deserve. They're human just like males are.
Yep.
And I hate speaking this from a male perspective because females won't actually listen to my words. I'll just attack my thoughts or whatever beliefs. Anyways, fast forward to now, I feel like there is equal opportunity now.
Yep.
If a woman goes into, like if a girl goes into uni or a male goes into uni, they're both provided the same road, in my belief. If you're running a business, a male or female, you're kind of both given the same opportunities. You know, I don't think anyone cares on the other end of the phone if it's a guy or a girl selling you a product or service. I know, I feel like the world right now is pretty equal, but there's also that thing in their head gone back in time where males play a part in it, saying the whole joke about like, you know, get in the kitchen, whatever, and Andrew Tate shit, you know, whatever.
Creating a lot of controversy.
Creating a lot of controversy, and I feel like that also makes them feel like they don't feel equal yet.
Right.
They don't feel like they're on an even playing field.
Okay.
If that makes sense, and it is sad. But what can you do?
Okay.
What would you say about that one? Like, what can you do about that situation? Because you can't really do much other than be understanding for their thoughts.
I think that it is a topic that can be subjective or objective depending on the experiences you've had in your life or the experiences you've heard of through the family tree, because
Yes.
a lot of past situations affect the present, and what happens in the present affects the future. So there could have been something in the past that triggered a family tree to continue this run of femininity is this or masculinity is that. and their family.
And that gets passed on to children
Correct.
and goes through the generations. And that is why some people are the way they are.
And
it's not their fault. It's just how they were raised.
how they were raised, what they were surrounded by, the people they surrounded themselves with, who influenced them.
Yes, because you are
social
the 5
media.
people you hang around with the most. And I was talking to one of my clients this morning about how he was saying that his kids are all over their phones.
Yep.
Their phones is like always on them. They're always on.
Onto it.
Yeah, they're always locked into it. And I was like, you know how you kind of are the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most with. Now we're going to add another one, which is phones.
That's actually very true, and it's good that you point that out, because that's actually a very true fact. Like,
what you see on social media all day is
thought about
shaping
it
the
like
person you are, because, why are you the 5 people you're hanging around the most with? Why me and Ree becoming more similar the more we hang out? Because when we talk, we're adopting each other's mannerisms, adopting each other's opinions, because I'm listening to his opinions, he's listening to mine. And obviously we agree with each other's opinions somewhat because we're still hanging out.
Yeah.
Or he values my opinion, I value his the same way.
Sometimes it's agree to disagree, but then that's just the way life is.
It's more like you're like, oh, I don't believe that, but I get where Brendon's coming from.
Yeah, it's like a mutual understanding.
Yeah. And same with you, like, I don't get it, I don't believe that way, but I understand where you're coming from and I respect it.
Yeah.
It's the same with social media. You don't believe everything that you read on there or see, but you're like, oh, I respect his belief or what he's saying,
I think a lot of people get into the social media realm. I'll give you an example. Sam Sulek. You know Sam Sulek? The big bodybuilder, 21-year-old that eats he has a whole 2 liters of milk and...
Oh, I think I've heard of him, yeah.
Big guy, curly long hair, and he's the one that does this.
Oh, Sam Sulek.
Yeah. Anyway, so he just started recording himself going to the gym and getting big and his routine and what he ate, etc. Some people go into the social media realm not knowing, well, we'll quote Spider-Man here, with great power comes great responsibility. So in that sense, he's gone into this social media realm just to show people what he does, but a lot of followers that have been sucked into the phone have now adapted to his lifestyle, which is eat the amount of calories that you should be having, but you can have whatever you want, and train as hard as you can, because you can, and manage PEDs because you can. But he's done that.
He didn't realise the amount of influence he
caused.
Yeah, he caused, yeah.
So now he's like...
Which is understandable. Like, he's a 21-year-old kid. Well, I didn't actually know his story or anything, but like from what you've said, 21-year-old kid just posting his life, and that's how he's living, and it might not be healthy, but he probably doesn't even see his lifestyle as healthy. He's not expecting anyone to follow his lifestyle, he's just documenting it. Which I feel like it's not too bad. But you have to come from a place of understanding that when people see success in another person, they want to copy, they want to emulate that success, because they're like, oh, I want to be ripped and jacked and huge and living this lifestyle that this guy's living, Sam Sulek, and they follow it.
There's one thing, I think it's the power of subconscious influence. People like us, we post social media.
What about this?
Yeah, there you go.
That came from an influencer on YouTube,
Yeah, so like
him talking on YouTube and stuff got me to get a tattoo down the track.
Yeah,
so
the power of subconscious influence. People go down the realm of wanting to be famous and do this and do that through socials. But then when you pointed out like the extra finger, which is social media, that is a very big impact. And some people don't understand that
the impact their phone use actually has on their personality.
The impact the phone use has on their personality, the impact that their words, like what we're saying now, could impact someone.
Another person. Oh my God, what was... I'm going to throw someone under the bus here, but I'm not going to name names. There was someone I met up with a few weeks ago, and they were just explaining their lifestyle. Like, I wanted to know, what is a day in your life? because that's something I like to find out from someone,
Nice.
especially if I'm meeting them for the first time,
Yep.
whatever. Anyways, found out that their lifestyle was work 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever, come home and TikTok for 3 hours, sleep, repeat. And I was like,
That's a great
So-
balance.
most of your downtime is spent on social media just doing these ones, scrolling. Fuck, you got some good finger muscles, man. Like, I know, but when I heard that, I was like, wow, okay, like, this person is my age and they're spending like a significant amount of hours per week on their phone just scrolling through social media. I would say that they probably spend more time on social media than interacting with humans. I don't know 100%. Like, I'm not putting stats or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there are people out there that probably spend more time on a certain app like TikTok or Instagram than they spend with the real world or real humans.
I'll back it up with a family friend that we usually see, like, you know, those family friends you just see once in a blue moon, Christmas or like a birthday or just something once in a blue moon. Every single time I go over, their kids are locked, absolutely locked, until
Not surprised.
Dad pulls it away and says dinner time, and then they zombie over to the table, eat. Can I have it back? Yeah, you can. Locked in again, and then they're there for another hour or two, and then they'll hear something. They'll hear their name. They'll glitch out, and they'll speak to you for 2 seconds, and then get back locked in. And it's just a constant cycle. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I just sit there and I go, right.
Even my client today was saying, like, he feels like our generation was probably the last before this new age of being sucked into phones. Because he even said he can't do anything about his kids because anyone that they meet in their circle of friends or their what do you call it, peers, their peers are all on devices. So if you don't give them the opportunity to be on their own devices, they're gonna be left out. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine you're the only kid in your school or group or
Doesn't have a phone.
that doesn't have a phone or isn't on their phone as much as they are.
You're disconnected.
100%, because everyone else is going to be like, oh, did you see that thing on TikTok?
Yeah.
And if you didn't see that thing on TikTok, you're going to be like,
yeah.
oh, no, I didn't see it.
It's actually the full norm.
Oh, you're weird.
Yeah.
You're weird for not seeing that thing. It blew up.
Oh my
It
God,
has like a million views.
You don't have an iPhone 12?
You don't have TikTok? Are you serious? When was the last time you posted your dinosaur?
Yeah.
Like, I'm making assumptions here, but I'm assuming that group of that generation, that's kind of the conversations they're having.
Yeah.
Whereas us, it's like, yeah, man, did you run down to the park yesterday?
100%. I feel like we were we spoke about this in another podcast, but how we were the generation that got introduced to the iPhone and smartphones and all these like big gadgets.
Later age, which is
but more
perfect.
later.
Yeah, 100%.
Now we've fallen into the trap of buying the new latest phone, whereas like the younger generation, like, oh, I've already had that. Like I sit there with a 12, and my brother's got a 14, and I go, just does the same thing as that, but why is that? Fair enough.
That's why I say it's like we are the last generation that can appreciate the smaller things or the easier things in life, which I love though. To be honest, like I like the fact that we are kind of in the middle, middle gen. I call us the middle gen. What's our gen thing called?
I think we're Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I think we're Gen Z.
Well, 1999. So I like to tell my clients I'm a 90s kid. So I play a lot of 90s rap in my sessions, so Eminem, Biggie, and they're like, man, this music isn't from your time. And I'm like, yeah, it was. I was born in 99. I was there for 6 months, you know.
1999.
99. Pretty sure it was Gen X. Oh no, Z? Is that the one?
Yeah. I think it's Z.
We're doing a quick Google search right now. Ooh. Like a
Gen Z.
Like a bobblehead right now.
Gen Z.
Late 1990s and early 2000s. Oh, we're grouped in the same as the 2000s kids.
Just. And then the Common Dictionary defines Gen Z as members of the generation born between the mid-1990s to mid-2010s.
Really?
Didn't know that.
So we're grouped in the same generation as those zombies.
Just 1997
And
and
2012.
2012. So Gen Z.
Maybe they
Gen
should
Z.
have maybe Gen Z should be a part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Would you say
So where's the
No,
millennial?
because everyone in our age group, I feel like I've met a lot of people in our age group that are like us. And I don't know if that's because we attract those type of people or anything. But
Yeah, I think it's 1990s to 2000s because after the 2000s, I think there was like a big shift in technology. After the
Yeah, that's what I
2000s.
mean. That's why I feel like you should have a difference in the generations,
I think
like a shift. Because when
it's
1990, oh look at this, 1999 babies, 90s kids, are they?
if you were born in 1999, you are a solid 2000s kid.
So I have to stop saying it then.
Damn it!
Far
I thought I
out.
could claim it.
I thought I could claim 90s kid. But I do understand those what are they called, memes? Those
Yeah.
That's how old I am. No, those memes of the 90s kid memes, and then you see all those like little gadgets from it.
Oh, bro, the
This is a
nostalgia
90s
videos.
kid fucking wall.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
I think the best of those videos on TikTok where they like, do you remember this when you were a kid? And they play all the old like the
yes.
Teletubbies and the Wiggles and
Yeah.
Jack in the Box and Play School.
And they're all 90s kids type things, I reckon.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
Nah.
No. There was what was it? Oh, it was our friend Jono. Was supposed to join the podcast yesterday.
He was.
Didn't end up doing it, but we will get him one eventually one day.
One
I
day.
reckon.
He's a very, very wise man.
Oh, he is. He is, and he did he read Ikigai?
I don't know if he did or didn't.
Well,
But
it's all
explain
about
to
self.
the
Yeah. So, it's all about self-love, pretty sure. Not 100%, like, don't quote me on that. I am going to read it, and then I can come back into it for another podcast and explain it properly. But, there is limits to self-love, I feel like. It is so important for you to love yourself, but then it comes to the point of, do you love yourself more than you... do you love yourself to the point that you start affecting other people? That's a limit. That's a line you have to draw. Like sometimes
Explain.
sometimes you can be in a situation where you want to put yourself first before other people, but then that will affect other people in a way. Like that person will be affected by your actions or decisions, and I feel like that's when it comes to, are you a full-blown fucking narcissist and not give a shit about other people in your life, or are you loving yourself?
Yeah.
How do you make that distinction? It's pretty hard.
It's difficult, but you need to be aware that there's a limit. Otherwise,
That's what I mean. Yeah.
if you don't, as you said, if you don't know where the limit is,
I've definitely crossed that line sometimes. Yeah.
There's always that's a good point that you bring up because I feel like people they sit on the fence about it sometimes, and they either go left or right depending on what side they fall into that.
I'm like a stock market. I'm like a stock market sheet on the narcissist line. It's like I'll be down, up. I'm like going over and under in that wave.
I think that's a good point that you bring up because a lot of people get stuck in being too focused on themselves and they lose track of the people that have gotten them to the point that they're at today.
Yes.
Like their family or their friends that have guided them through hardships, or a boss that was really good to you, or
100%.
and you just like if you just take that the wrong way and you go, nah, I'm the man. Like these people have motivated me to be the man, and F everyone else and F this and F that. I'm the man. I'm the one.
I'm the one that did this all on my own.
Yeah. Like
if you don't recognize that other people had some influence in your life to get to that point, you have to just be respectful. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, it is your decisions that gets you from point A to B, no matter what. Like people can say things to you, but you're still the person that has to put in the action. You're still the person that did the work. You know, so you can have self-love about that. Like be appreciative of the fact that, you know, someone loved you enough to give you the confidence to do it, but you're still the one that did the doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you still need to be okay with knowing that you are the man.
It's like going to Bunnings blind and asking someone for help. It's okay to ask for help.
It is.
So when you walk out with that brand new barbecue that you wanted, someone helped you.
Yes.
Even though you were blind, someone helped you.
Someone helped you do it.
You couldn't do it on your own.
You couldn't do it on your own.
Because you were blind.
Like your blind dog couldn't actually lift that table.
No.
I mean, that barbecue. So, depends how big the dog was.
Is it a blind dog or service dog?
Service dog.
Your blind dog couldn't even lift it. I think on that note.
Actually, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What are some values that you look for in a partner?
Oh. Values in a partner. These contradict what I did with previous relationships, but I've learned from my previous relationships to have these values by my side. Communication is a big thing, and I've noticed that with the prior
Previous relationships, yeah.
Communication is one thing that I want to be across. Values in family values, and what was the last one? Giving, family, and communication.
That's good.
Yeah, they're like my three main values.
Like three big pillars sort of thing. And how would you like describe yourself if you were like talking about values and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What values or temples do you hold close that you provide someone? Like the rocks, like sort of thing.
Reciprocated love.
Reciprocators in your mirror.
Yeah.
So you're a comedian when it comes to love.
Yeah. Not chameleon. You prick. Not chameleon, but if these are both V's.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Analogy time.
This is me.
Yep.
And this is hopefully the female that comes into my life. Right?
Me? Oh, a female. Okay.
Hopefully the female that comes into my life. They both have the same amount of sodium, the same amount of caffeine, the same amount of everything. You could pour these two together and it'd still be a good drink. That's the analogy.
Oh, you know, fair point. Respect. That was good. Reciprocated love.
Reciprocated love.
You know what? It's a new term. He just coined it. So,
but
should we trademark that?
Reciprocated love from myself and my partner. Mine is obviously the communication side of things. Like I want to be very
open, honest.
Trust is another one. Trust and communication go hand in hand. And the last one is, for me, I want to provide for my family and for a family.
I like that.
So double.
Respect.
What about you?
Values I look for in a partner. Wait, I said this the other day and I can't remember now. I need someone that is going to be like nurturing. And when I say nurturing, like people always take that word the wrong way or like view it as the wrong thing. When I say nurturing, I mean someone that they give off that like aura, that person that is always the first to look after someone. You know, the first to
that
jump
nurturing nature from a woman is
it's something that I'm most attracted to.
Yeah.
Like when I see a woman that is like that, I know it just gives me that positive vibe about them.
Yeah.
And that's what's most attractive to me, to be honest. Okay. And this is another weird one, opinionated.
Someone that you can have a debate with.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have to be opinionated, but also strong on that opinion. So like, you can't really back them down. Like if they have like an opinion about something, it's also strong. Okay. They are able to argue their point, and they're not agreeable. So they're not just gonna be, oh yeah, I'll listen to you. Yeah, you're right. They're gonna be more like, no, this is what I think.
Yeah.
No.
You wanna have a conversation.
Yeah, I wanna have a conversation. I don't want to be like dominant to the point that they just listen and mold their personality to fit mine. I want them to have their own personality, their own beliefs and stuff like that. So I feel like that's two of my big ones. Oh, there was another one. I can't remember now. That's basically my main two. Yeah. That's my main two things that I look for in a partner is that, I'd say.
I think overall from this conversation, we've obviously talked about a lot because it's been close to an hour now.
Yeah.
But I feel like the biggest thing to take away and put into the new year is to just focus on you,
Self-love.
self-love,
Self-love, Ikigai. Read it.
focus on balance, focus on communication, and focus on your family and friends. 5 things.
Oh, and also,
Add the 6th finger.
the 6th finger, that's actually no. The 6th finger I would say is to start mapping out what your values are and what values you respect the most as well.
You could broaden that and say values and goals. I think if you can map
Values
out your
and
values
goals.
and
Values
goals,
and goals,
because
yeah.
those two will obviously work hand in hand for you to go, okay, this is what I want.
This is me in a set of values. This is me. Like, what values do I hold close to my chest? And then you could also, from that, find out what values you're missing and you actually feel like, oh, I could do good if I had these values in my life, whatever it is.
All right. In saying that, I think we'll log off here.
I think Evolv is out for another week.
Thank you very much for
See you
listening.
on Friday.
Thank
Let's
you very
go.
much. Bye.